this is Ali. Today I'm going to meet my friend Jeff at AMC to watch a Chinese animated movie called NeZha. This movie scored $674 million. So lucky we can watch it here in US. I believe it could be a really good idea to take an American friend to watch a Chinese movie because he has no Chinese background. He definitely have no idea about the background story of NeZha. So let's go to meet Jeff. Hi Jeff, have you ever seen any Chinese animated movie before?
No, I've only seen Kung Fu movies.
Any expectations?
I don't know what to expect. I watched a little bit of the trailer and saw how dynamic it looks. I read a little bit about it online, but otherwise I don't know what to expect.
That's awesome. Let's go to watch it.
All right.
Hi everyone, we finished watching the movie, but I got so tired. So we're going to record the review video tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Hi everyone, this is Ali. This is Jeff. And we watched the animated movie called NeZha yesterday. So what do you feel about this movie, Jeff?
Technically, it's really great. It's like the animation is really good and the special effects are really good. And character designs are pretty good, although there's some things we could probably talk about later about that. But probably the story could probably be improved upon. So, you know, there's some good things, but then there's like a little bit of things that What do you feel about the character design? Okay, so there's the main character.
Really stand out.
NeZha, he really stands out. So when you see the poster in the movie theater, you see like his face on there, and he's like really, he's kind of like mischievous. He looks really like he's a little trickster, and it's really appealing when you see him. And so, but when you see the movie, he actually stands out because the other characters don't look the same. They're kind of
on
like
a different system, right?
Yeah, there's like,
different movie.
I know.
Together.
Yeah, like they're different styles. So like his parents don't look like him style-wise. He actually, we were talking about it earlier. He kind of looks more like a Gorillaz character, like in the band with the animated band. You know, he's got the dark circles under his eyes and his mouth.
And the mouth and teeth, really sharp ones inside. It does reminds me a lot like that. The parents, what do you feel they look like?
Oh, maybe more like Disney or DreamWorks. They're more kind of realistic. They don't look like him.
Exactly. Do you think if they make a movie like based on the teenager NeZha and Albin, those kind of more Eastern style, do you think it will be more appealing, interesting to you?
Yeah, I think it would be more appealing based on the fact that it would be something new to me. I mean, I get why like Disney and Pixar and DreamWorks, they use their certain style because when you watch an animated film for like 2 hours, it might be a little bit exhausting seeing realistic looking characters for 2 hours. So the more crazy looking they are, the more it'll keep your interest. So like NeZha is really interesting to watch for the whole time. But I mean, otherwise, it would be nice to see them try and do something more unique and more different, like they did with the two characters, Albin and NeZha as a teenager.
Would you please rate the character design out of 10?
Either 6 or 7. Just, I mean, because the ones that are good are really good, but then there's that inconsistency, and I think you really need, I mean, we talked about that before, since we're both animators, we're more critical about, you know, the pre-production, like this is something that they could have really worked out at the beginning.
Yeah, I think so. I think this problem should be fixed at the very beginning of a movie. Let's talk about the story. The story is always very important.
So unlike you, I didn't know anything about this story. I read a little bit about it online. I was like, oh, what is this movie about? But when I sat in the theater, the intro was actually I think you thought it was not as interesting, but for me, it was really interesting at the beginning because I didn't know anything about it. So it brought me in. I was excited. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be really good. But then after a certain point, then the story kind of meanders a little. It kind of goes, and it's not as like, it's getting more exciting and more exciting. Sometimes it goes down a little bit, and sometimes it goes to the side. So
do you feel that the story need to be trimmed?
Trim out like there's kind of like side stories, like we said, and just like say, okay, this is what we're trying to tell. It's about this character who goes through these changes and then eventually kind of like, finds his place or redeems himself. So we don't need all these extra side details. Those were probably in the story, like when you read the book, there's all these probably extra details, and they wanted to put as much of that into there. But for a movie, you probably don't want to put all that in. You wonder why the character acted a certain way, like what motivated them to all of a sudden change. Like we talked about Al he became NeZha's friend just because they spent a short while on the beach, which was a great scene, but it's like he's going to give up his dragon family just for this boy he just met. After a while, it kind of, you get used to the fights, and then it doesn't make the same impact as it did when you first see the first fight. You're like, oh my God, this is really exciting. And then another fight happens, you're like, oh, that's great. And then the third one, you're like, oh. So, yeah, you probably don't need that many fights, and I mean, technically it's great, but getting more to the emotional side and the characters and telling more of the story that way.
Could you please rate the story out of the 10?
Probably like at the most 6, but maybe 5 even. It really did need improvements. But.
I know. Yeah, we all get it. So it's already improved a lot compared to a lot of like the Chinese movie before. But still, if we have a higher standard, the Hollywood Pixar movies, we definitely still need to improve a lot. So the effects, I think the technical part probably the strongest one, right?
Yes.
In this one.
Yeah, yeah. You can see right away if you watch a trailer, you'll know that it's like visually it looks really great.
Yeah, could you rate it?
Effects, I would give. The 10.
Probably we got a 10 score. So let's rate this movie overall, like out of 10 overall.
Probably like either a 6 or 7.
Not bad. Good. So last question.
Okay.
Did you cry?
Oh. No, there's certain scenes in there that, the characters are crying, and you can tell it's like a very emotional part of the film. And but I kind of felt like the director was kind of forcing the sentimental part onto the story, and I just didn't feel it at certain points. So I don't know. How about you?
I cried. I cried at the moment they actually play on the beach, because it really slows down, and you feel the emotions, and you feel the character. And I love NeZha is not pure, kind of evil. So he actually got embarrassed right away and kicked the rock. After that, it's kind of really cute, setup for the character. But the ending part, when the parents cried so badly in front of the camera, that kind of a little bit too pushing.
Yes.
that feeling. So we can definitely expecting more emotion scenes to help the audience to understand the character in the future. We really hope we can see better and better ones in the future, in the best wish for the Chinese anime movie in the future. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.